Hey guys! Tonight we stumble, quite literally, into the dusty shadows of the Roman arena. You're not sitting in the stands cheering with wine in your hand. No, you're sneaking through the side corridors, past the torchlight, into the world where gladiators actually lived. The place where sweat mixes with smoke, where the smell of barley bread lingers heavier than blood. And spoiler alert, you probably won't survive this diet. It's less steak and protein shakes and more bean-flavored misery. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Seriously, no pressure. If you do, also drop your location and local time in the comments. I love seeing where and when you're watching from. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. You wander down a stone hallway, the rough walls sweating with the dampness of centuries. The arena isn't roaring right now. It's quiet. That's because you're backstage, in the dim barracks where gladiators wait, not for glory but for bread. Literally bread. You think of them as ripped warriors crunching bones, but tonight, you realize their real battlefield wasn't just in the sand. It was in the kitchen. You see them hunched over clay bowls, eating their evening rations. It's not glamorous. Barley porridge, thick and heavy, sticks to their fingers. A few beans roll around in a clay dish. It looks more like something served in a bad cafeteria than fuel for combat. But this was the reality. Gladiators were nicknamed hordearii, the barley men. Their strength didn't come from juicy steaks, it came from mountains of grain. One gladiator across the table eyes you suspiciously, then smirks. He gestures to his food. It's bland, but it's survival. Scholars still argue whether this was by design. Did the trainers want them bulky, slow, harder to cut open? Or was it just the cheapest way to feed dozens of fighters? You notice how carefully the portions are measured. There's no feasting here, no indulgence. Gladiator schools were strict. Their bodies were investments, like expensive racehorses. Every bowl of porridge is weighed with purpose. Too much fat, and they'll lose stamina. Too little, and they'll collapse in the arena. You feel the pressure of that balance in the silence of the room. Every clink of a clay spoon echoing like a drumbeat. But here's the quirky part. While the mainstream Roman citizen liked fancy bread with fine wheat flour, gladiators were stuck with barley, the cheaper, rougher grain that most elites sneered at. Imagine being forced to eat the historical equivalent of stale, multi-grain bread every single day while your sponsor sips honeyed wine in the stands. That's enough to make anyone want to swing a sword. As you sit down among them, you catch a whiff of something faintly sour. It's not blood, it's ash. A gladiator dips his drink, a murky mixture with powdered charcoal and plant ash. This isn't punishment. It's their recovery tonic, a strange mineral booster for bones after fractures and cuts. You shiver at the thought. Your post-gym protein shake just got replaced by a gritty ash smoothie. You probably wouldn't survive this one either. The gladiator beside you slaps his chest proudly, showing you a scar. He grins and goes back to his porridge. His muscles aren't cut like marble statues. They're bulky, padded with layers of fat. That was intentional. Trainers wanted them to have protection against shallow cuts. The diet of beans and barley gave them that cushion, even if it robbed them of looking chiseled. Somewhere outside, you hear the muffled sound of vendors setting up. Tomorrow, the arena will be full. Thousands of voices all chewing on their own snacks, figs, sausages, nuts. And yet here the fighters have no luxuries. You're in the silence before the storm, where the only entertainment is the scraping of bowls and the occasional burp. The contrast is almost comical. The men meant to be the stars of the show live like monks. You lean against the wall, feeling the weight of the air. The torches flicker, shadows dancing across tired faces. Some gladiators joke with each other, making light of the blandness of dinner. One pretends to be a senator, raising his bowl like a golden chalice. Laughter ripples briefly, then fades back to chewing. It hits you. This isn't just food, it's control. Trainers use diet to regulate not only bodies, but minds. Hungry fighters are manageable fighters. Full fighters can be lazy. The exact rations are as much psychology as nutrition. It's discipline served cold, or more accurately, lukewarm barley stew. The oddest detail catches your eye. A gladiator pulls out a tiny pouch tied to his belt. Inside are dried figs, a luxury, probably smuggled from a sympathetic servant or a generous fan. He pops one in his mouth quickly, before the guards notice. The sweetness makes his eyes close for a second, almost like he's remembering freedom. One fig, that's all it takes to remind you how much these men were starved of pleasure. You start to realize that eating here is less about taste and more about preparation. Every spoonful is a countdown to the next fight. The diet isn't meant to be enjoyed, it's meant to be endured. And you, sitting here with them, feel that endurance pressing into your stomach, heavier than the porridge itself.